What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Hammer Dance YouTube channel. Today I am going to be going over how to create your first thumbnail for YouTube, because a lot of you seem to be starting up YouTube channels. I'm getting a lot of comments lately on how to edit videos, how to create thumbnails, and that type of thing. I'm no expert in the topic of editing videos or creating thumbnails, but I have a few years of experience at this point, so I feel like I can get you guys started and teach you how to create your first one. But before we do that, guys, let's give a shout out and thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Own.tv. Own.tv is the place to go, guys, if you're looking for some fresh new graphics for your stream. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook gaming, you'll find something that's a perfect fit for your channel. They offer full themed overlay packages, which are great if you're trying to give your stream a complete makeover. But let's say you're just looking to pick up some new alert graphics. Don't worry, because they've got you covered there too. You could find single graphics such as alerts, banners, panels, and logos as well. And one of the best parts about most of these overlays is that they are completely modular. So if you and your friends all pick up the same overlay, such as this Rodan one right here, you can change the colors and tweak it to match your brand, and none of you will have the exact same overlay. If you guys are looking to take your stream to the next level, be sure to check out Own.tv using my link below to support the channel. All right, guys, so we're going to start. I use Photoshop. You can use Photoshop, GIMP, whatever your program of choice is. These are going to be more generalized tips of how to lay out the text, how to add certain effects, and basically just how to create your first thumbnail, like I said. So I'm starting over here in Photoshop, but you can use this in GIMP or whatever program you are using. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File, we're going to hit New, and we want to create a 1920 by 1080p RGB color mode file. There we go. We have a blank slate right now. We're going to create a thumbnail from scratch. I'm actually going to create the thumbnail for this video in this video and then use it so you guys can see how it's done. So my process for this, my first step is I like to take a background. I need to get a background in there. And what I do, which you don't need to do this, but what I do is I turn my camera on and I just record my background back here without me in it. And then I have green screen shots because I have a green screen. So I've taken a lot of pictures of myself doing different poses and things like that in front of a green screen. So then I remove that green screen and throw myself on the background. It looks fantastic. However, if you don't have a green screen, you can literally sit in front of the camera like this, boom, like this, and like go to the side maybe. Let's go like over here, and like we're gonna put text up here, right? So you can just go like, and then play that video back, take a screenshot of it, and throw that in as your background. Whatever works for you guys, that's what you can do. But anyway, we're gonna start here. I have a blank slate, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up a background. Boom, this is me setting up my background, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is a nice shot right here. I'm gonna pause it right there. I'm gonna hit Windows key Shift S, and that will allow me to snip whatever I want here. So I'm gonna take this whole shot, close out of this. Okay, and now we're gonna come into Photoshop here. We're gonna hit Control V, boom, pasted my background. So now this is the background of this thumbnail that I'm about to create. So next thing we're gonna do here is we are going to go over, and I have done the same thing with green screen shots. So to save some time here, I'm gonna just pull up a green screen shot. Give me 1 second. All right, so we drag and dropped our green screen shot into Photoshop. Now, as you can see, this is a picture I took in front of a green screen. But like I said, you guys can kind of skip this step if you are not, doing this. So what we're gonna do first here is we're gonna come over to the right side where you see the green screen shot. We're gonna right click it and we're gonna rasterize this layer. So now we can remove the background. We're gonna come up top, we're gonna go to Select, Color Range. I drop the green screen, click left there, and we're gonna set the fuzziness to 155. As you can see here, it's selecting most of the green screen background. We're gonna just hit delete or backspace, and voila, there is no more background on our image. Control D to deselect that, and just kind of tune this up here, get rid of anything that didn't get deleted. I'm gonna delete like these little spaces here. This little line that didn't get deleted, that's gone. By the way, guys, when you're working on this, you might want to lock your background layer. So we're going to double click here and rename it background, and then we're going to hit the lock so that we can't accidentally edit the background. Go back to selecting our image here, and let's start just tuning this up, making it look nice and fresh. Get our eraser tool in here. We'll go in and just get the size down a little bit. To bring up this little menu, you just right click, guys. We're gonna go in and make it nice and get rid of all that green as much as we possibly can. Depending on the quality of your image, you may not need to do much of this, but these were taken with my old camera a while ago, so I'd have to do a good amount of editing to get rid of most of the green on these images. You don't have to go too crazy, because once you add some effects and start editing, you won't be able to even see this. And then we can take the magic wand tool and just click around the image to get rid of any excess stuff. Maybe do up here a little bit, over here, get rid of some stuff, and then just take the eraser tool and kind of, like I said, go in and just fine tune all these little crevices to get rid of as much green as you possibly can. Don't go too crazy with it, but getting rid of as much as you can is a good idea, because, you know, it'll just make your image look a lot nicer and cleaner. So just get rid of a lot of that. We'll hit our magic wand tool down here again too. We want to kind of soften these edges, so you see how they're a little jagged. I'm just going to run the eraser tool down them to kind of straighten out that line. So now if we zoom out, this looks like a pretty good image. You can't tell that there was a background there. And what we're going to start by doing here is, first things first, we're going to add some effects to me to brighten me up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Layer, New, we're going to add an adjustment layer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Brightness and Contrast. Just hit OK. We can, honestly, with this, you can manually do it if you want, but quick way to do it for you guys out there is you can just hit Auto. It'll automatically find the correct brightness and contrast for your image. Okay, and now you can see that that brightness layer is right here above our picture. So next, what we're going to do is go back to Layer, another adjustment layer, and we're going to do Levels. Hit OK. You can do the same exact thing. Hit Auto. Boom, brightens it up a little bit more, and then come back, Layer, Adjustment Layer, Curves, OK, Auto. Boom. Okay, so now that is a pretty high quality looking image, if I don't say so myself. So what we're going to do from this point forward is go to our picture of me, Hammer. We're going to hit Blending Options, and we're going to add an effect here. Now, you can do whatever you want here. You can add a shadow, you can add a stroke around yourself, like a lot of people do this one. And when you do this, you'll be able to see any more imperfections that are in the image, right? So let's just add a solid white stroke around it so we can see stuff that still needs to be deleted. As you can see, these spots here, all of this stuff needs to be deleted. So go back in and erase these, because what it's doing is drawing a stroke around something that you otherwise normally wouldn't have been able to see. So it helps you fine tune the image for sure. Okay, so get rid of all this stuff right there, all this stuff here, up top maybe, a little bit over here, right there. By the hands a little bit, you know, and a lot is going on right over here. So we're going to make our brush a little bit bigger and just go in and kind of get rid of all of that stuff that's going on right there. Maybe go in a little bit closer to the face here, kind of fine tune that line. The same thing on this side. And yeah, we're looking pretty good now. Okay, so then another thing I like to do is I come in here and I kind of straighten out my shirt a little bit. I get rid of any creases or bumps. It's not natural, but you can never tell in the thumbnail itself. It just makes it look a lot more streamlined and straight. Get rid of all those imperfections. And we're gonna head over to the right side over here and do the same thing. Come into the neck, go down a little bit, and just kind of straighten out that shirt, go along with the curves, don't make it look too weird. A little bit going on down here, some kind of crazy stuff happening. Go over there. Okay. So now, oh, this looks weird. See what I mean? Like this is a weird thing. We're gonna kind of just, we're gonna straighten that out. And that looks a lot better. So that would be what it looks like with a stroke. For me personally, I don't like the stroke look. I like to do glows, right? Because it's a little less harsh. So I make a white glow. You can adjust the spread here. You can make it thicker or, oh, look, found more imperfections. There we go. Yeah, so we can make it thicker. You can make it more of a glow. I kind of keep it around this range, 20, and then you can adjust the size if you want it to be a lot of glowing, or like, this is generally what I do, like that. About 20 and about 30 on the size. So that's a nice glow. It kind of pops you off the background, which is really cool. So now we have like, this is a pretty good basis for our thumbnail. And we're doing, this is a, you know, a video about editing thumbnails, right? So we want to have something in here that shows that aside from just text. Now keep in mind, this is all personal preference. If you guys just want to make a thumbnail that looks like this with some text, that's fine. Or not, don't even include yourself on it. You just want to have a picture of something. What I'm going to do next is we're going to take a little screenshot here. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Alt scroll up, and we're gonna do that Windows key Shift S, and we're gonna take a snapshot of this Photoshop screen right here. And then we're going to Control V, paste it in, right? Control T to change the size. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to put it up in this corner and we're going to tilt it a little bit. So that adds a little bit of an artsy manner to it. And then we're going to see how it's covering me up. It's above me in the layer field here. We're going to drop it below me and now it's behind me as a layer, right? So now this kind of shows people like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This is working in Photoshop. Like, this is pretty cool. Just for the sake of this video though, guys, I'm going to do this with an older thumbnail just so that it doesn't look weird having the same exact picture of myself in here. So hold on one second. We're going to come over to this old thumbnail from the last video. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take a snapshot of that thumbnail, go back to our thumbnail here, paste it in, and we're going to just change the size. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. We're going to come back over here, paste it in, and change the size. It's already behind us, which is great, right? We're going to do that. We're going to make it a little smaller, give it a little tilt. Throw it up here. And voila, that looks pretty good. Now, we're going to name that layer Screenshot. And we can name the layer that's me. Okay, so we're going to go to the Screenshot layer, right click, go to Blending Options, and we want to make this pop out a little bit. We can do a glow. What does that look like? Might be too much glowing going on. We could do a drop shadow. That kind of pops it off the background a little bit. Yeah, let's go with the drop shadow for this one. So we gave it a bit of a shadow. You can see at the bottom of it here. That's pretty cool looking. So, well, yeah, we'll leave it as that. We'll leave it as a nice little drop shadow there. Okay, so now what I would do here is I like to add like arrows and things like that because it shows people like, hey, look at this. So just find a little graphic of an arrow online or create your own and just drag and drop it into Photoshop. I'm going to just take mine from a previous thumbnail right here. Could just drag it over into our new thumbnail. Boom, there it is. We got the arrow. And we can put it like, I guess, probably right here. We're going to place it. Where do we want to place this? You know what? No arrow on this one. Okay, so now it comes time to add some text to give people content, you know. So now it comes time to add some text so people know what this video is actually about without even reading the title. So what we're going to do is I keep my thumbnails very uniform. If you guys, you know, are fans of the channel, you can see that most of my thumbnails all look pretty much the same, right? So I use my font that I use is Podium Sharp. I've always used it, so that's my thing. So basically, we got to figure out a way to word this. Kind of think of it as like a newspaper article, newspaper headline, right? So I guess for this one, we can just write, let's say, creating. And we'll have that be one word itself right there. We'll make it a little smaller. Right? Like that. And we can have it be behind me. That's okay too. And then we'll create another text box a little bit under it. And we'll put like your first. We need to make that a little smaller so we can actually read it. Like that, maybe. And then we'll do another box that's going to say thumbnail, right? So nice, simple, like headline right there. But now those words kind of sit in the back because there's a lot going on, a lot of colors, a lot of effects. We need to kind of amp that up, right? So for me, I'm going to go right here. You can see the creating text. We're going to right click, go to blending options, and I'm going to add a gradient here to do, I like to use this nice like yellow and orange gradient that I've created. So you can go to gradient and I have it set as a preset right here. So you select that, but to create your own gradient, you basically like come down here, right? And you can choose this color. Let's say we want this to be like a bright green, right? You can see that that's the end of the word there. And then the middle, you want it to be a blue. And then the top, you want it to be a white. And there you go. Like that's how you create a gradient. And then you can drag this and it will position that color on the word. But for me, we're going to go with my classic orange and yellow. And then I'm going to also add a stroke around it, a black one. Right? So now you can see right off the bat how much more that word is popping off the background. It looks nice, you know, it's popping out really nicely. And then we're gonna pretty much go down here and do the same thing with these. However, I want the word creating to stand out more than the rest. So we're not gonna add that gradient to these. We're gonna just add the stroke. Come down and add a stroke to those 2 layers of text. Boom. Okay, so now we can mess around with it a little bit. Do we like it covering the whole word or do we not? We can make myself a little bit smaller here, which is fine too, so you can kind of see more of the word. That looks pretty nice. And then, you know, this is a very basic tutorial, so I want people to know that going in. But first off, let's space these out a little more to kind of take up some of this unused space, right? That looks a little bit better. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a rectangle right here. And then we can change the size later on. But so we created our rectangle. Make sure you fill it with a color and take a stroke off. And I'm going to turn this rectangle into a red rectangle with a red gradient that I've created, right? Nice red gradient. I'm gonna also go in and add a drop shadow to it. So you can see it's being shadowed there. We're gonna change the angle of the shadow a little bit there. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Okay, actually it's perfect. So, all right, now we're gonna add another layer of text and then we're gonna drag it into this rectangle. And I'm gonna say, first off, this is way too big. Go down a little bit in size and we're gonna say, for beginners. Is that how you spell beginners? 2 N's or 1? I think it's 2. And then we're gonna make it a little smaller so that it fits within the rectangle. Just like that. And that looks very nice. Now that is a nice looking thumbnail, guys, and you can see that didn't take too long. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the thumbnail I'm actually gonna use for this video. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. I hope that I was able to help you guys create your first thumbnail or give you some useful tips or information on how to at least, you know, get started with this type of thing. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and also at the end of this video, probably right at the end time it goes all right, guys, so that's about it. I hope that I was able to help you and at least give you some tips and get you started with creating thumbnails. Drop some comments down below if you have any more questions. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications. A lot of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button, guys. And at the time of uploading this video right now, by the time it goes live, I will be streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. You can find me over there. I will be streaming every week on Twitch again at this point in time. So that's all from me, guys. I want you to keep those hammers up, and I'll see you next time.